Welcome to OpenTechTalks.tv. Today we have a guest speaker with us, and I'm happy to host Jakub Polec, and even he was my colleague a few years back. So welcome, Jakub, to OpenTechTalks.tv.
Hi, good morning and good afternoon. Hi, Kashif, and thank you so much for inviting me for this talk.
Thank you, Jakub. And if our listeners are listening to you, so maybe their first question will be, who is Jakub? What he was doing it, and what he's doing nowadays in the AI age.
Oh, thank you so much. So let me put it this way. I worked for 10 years in Oracle in the Middle East, in Dubai. So basically, we know from that our office and our engagements with the customers, and few of them were engaged with machine learning AI. So it started just not now, just much more, many years before. But in my career, I work also for Microsoft years back. I have a couple of startups. I could call myself a serial entrepreneur. One of the and I'm a physicist by degree, which means that I deal with the data. So sometimes you call such a person like a data nerd, because this is what we do. And in fact, what is very interesting, and I want to start from the scratch and with this, that when you are a physicist, you deal with the data. And I was a particle high energy physicist, which we look for the quarks, a small nature, how it's built. So basically, the work of the scientist or physicist is just to get stream of the data and find the patterns and tell how the world is built. And when you come to AI now, it's pretty much the same. You have a different data from companies, from customers, from partners, from operations, whatever you think, and even from the world, like from the sun, if you want, like some other aspects of the sentiments. And you find the insights within this data, and you produce the variable models and some outcome. So I could say that I'm in the AI business or data business for all my life. But AI, of course, helps a lot. So that's very quickly about me. But maybe I add one more thing. And of course,
Sure.
I built a couple of startups. And before joining Oracle, that was 15 years ago, for 3 years, I have a startup which was dealing with AI. That time we call it more machine learning, but I'm a Polish, so that was in Warsaw. So I've been so much fortunate that we got an investment from venture capital fund company, and then we get another investment and an exit. But I was so lucky to hire one of the best guys in AI space that time, and even now. One of them is a founder of OpenAI. He worked for me as a student for 3 years. Another is the chief AI of a big ISV company across the whole Europe. And they were much younger, they were 20 few years, but they were super bright minds. And we worked together on, now it's much easier to tell me because we worked on the e-commerce space, because we thought that when you understand reviews, like another stream of the data in the machine learning space. So we apply SVM and some other stuff. For the text, we could produce a viable outcome, or we call it semantic search. But now I know that we did transcoder encoder 15 years ago, because there's exactly the same what is now with Perplexity, OpenAI, and things. Obviously, it's much better now. The science went up, but we built very similar things 15 years ago with those guys who then started OpenAI even.
Right. Okay. So very well explained, and you rightly said the machine learning and with the hype of last 2 years has gone into different directions, and suddenly everything becomes Gen AI. Whole AI goes to only Gen AI. But okay, so let's bring back maybe last 1.5 year, 2 year, what you are doing primarily on the startup space or on your main work or day to day, and which is you mentioned on working on the data, and maybe specific to what type of data is industry or something which you are very passionate about, because nowadays I usually read those articles on that one.
Yes. I'm not only IT guy, but I'm also a finance guy. For many years, I invested and supported some hedge funds, some prop officers, and the funds who wanted to invest. So right now, for the last 3 years, I'm building the sort of hedge funds. But in fact, there are different sorts of them. So we're building what we call AI quant infrastructure. So you can imagine that when you come to investment and you have a stock market, you have a different class of assets. Basically, it's exactly the same. You have a stream of the data, which human can understand, but less and less and less over the time, because there are more data, more different insight, more different connections. So what we decided to build a system which get the data from 70 plus data sources, analyze this, produce backtesting, research, and things. So it's called Research Desk, which we're selling in the B2C and B2B to our customers worldwide. And it's a part of that. I started a blog to show to the people what we're doing. I have now a blog is called Quant Journey, like a Quant and Journey, Substack.com. But we have a platform and a framework which contains now, I think, more than 150,000 lines of code, which is like a big with databases distributed, some cloud, some on OCI, even on Oracle. So we're using all the technology with containers, with distributed data, with AI models. Which we're selling to the customers and a hedge fund. So we signed a couple of agreements with hedge funds to support the infrastructure. We work also with some family offices. Right now, I'm discussing one strategy for Tadawul in Saudi Arabia with some family office. So it's a company of five people, mostly in Poland, in Hong Kong, in Singapore. So I'm trying to get the best guys to my company. On the blog, we have more than 5,000 subscribers now. So quantjourneysubstack.com. And this is how it is. And you ask about AI. Yeah, we're using a lot of AI. Basically, if you think about this infrastructure platform or Quant infrastructure, we have two layers. I mean, typical layer. We have a data layer when it's like data lake, when we put a lot of data, and it's quite common. It's all the procedures, features, etc. And structure and unstructured, so SQL, NoSQL DBs, and distributed across the things, reliability, etc. And the next level is a research level, which now applies a lot of AI. So we're building the first-in-class AI orchestrator for AI agents in a quant or finance space. So we're building some, not just a one, but we're building platform for the other companies to build AI agents on our platform specialize in a finance.
So let me start with you said you're working from last 3 years. So it's mean you have a very first-hand experience on not only working on infrastructure which is required to run an AI, and I'm not only talking about machine learning, traditional one, maybe more with this agentic AI, which you mentioned in your discussion, your point. So any patterns or any framework which emerged based on your experience, which someone who is listening from to us, he can take it in his or her organization?
Yeah, I think especially in a quant, in the finance space, there is no other way to use AI. And that's because there are multiple data, different dimension of the data. And I do believe that it's not just a one model. You need to have a different AI agents, which are like specialized products. When it's a different definition of agent, but basically I'm a fan of the kind of isolated single purpose agent who delivers something. It's like a function when you have an input parameters at the beginning and at the end with some confidentiality, some, all the elements. I'm strongly believer when you think from an IT perspective, it comes with something what we call before a microservices, because it's like a microservice, but now it's using AI or fundamental models or much more enriched data to produce much better results. But from the concept of perspective, it's pretty much the same. Okay. I don't know why it's breaking. So coming back to this, right?
Yeah.
So from the concept, it's basically pretty much the same concept in IT, but now it's much more enriched. And this is amazing because we can apply something which is unbelievable. I mean, Gen AI is a tremendous technology. And I have two guys who specialize in AI in my team, and we have a lot of discussions pretty much every day that if AI can think or not, if it's like conscious, if it's not conscious. I mean, when you look for that, we don't know even. I mean, some people say on the low side that it's a probabilistic model. You cannot expect anything, even calculation. On the other side, the other guys saying it's like PhD knowledge, right?
Right.
And for me, it's less about knowledge because data retrieval was in expert systems 20 years ago. It's more about how you combine the things, and this is crucial. So then it comes another area. If you have multiple agents or more or CO, or many things, or a swarm technologies, orchestrators, and the things, then you can get much more, which we can't even believe because, I mean, let's put it also from the human brain perspective, right? We are limited, and these systems are not limited, and they can
Right.
go beyond. And as a physicist, we have a Gauss distribution, which everyone knows. And even if they produce something we go within the one sigma, it's probably fits to all of the other people. Right.
Right.
So we call it outliners for many of the data things. Here, outliners are like you don't need. And one of the best example is, can AI replace the doctors? So people say, no, doctors are specialized, they need to know. But probably for 99.9% of the patients, of the cases, AI can replace. If there is a one single, of course, you need a human, which much more experience. You never know where it is, but you can serve with automations much cheaper. There's more OpEx things. So I do believe AI is a future. I do believe the key to make it better for us is how we deploy, how we organize, not only from the IT perspective, which is important from the cost perspective, because if you deploy on the expensive platform, you have much more expensive and you can use it. You don't have a viable business model, but also from the perspective how to create a business. And this is much more important for me than just technology.
Right. So you mentioned creating a business. So you spent your entire career in a corporate world. So what was the trigger which brought you back? Okay, no, I want to start my own this AI quant journey, and then what were signals in the initial days of months that okay,
Mhm.
yes, this is my right idea, or maybe how you validated it?
I think I said about my company before Oracle, right? And I have a couple of
Okay.
before. I
Hmm.
do believe what Nassim Taleb said in skin the game. So you need to know. And then, I mean, working for Oracle was pleasure. I mean, I was so happy talking to customers, having great colleagues like yourself even, and then learning over the journey. I really appreciate the time and what Oracle gave me. But I think one of the things as a human, we want to do ourselves a lot of the things because, if you don't have a boss, it's nice, but it also means that you are your own boss and you need to
Right.
manage this all your time priorities. It's a horrible, honestly, but it brings you a lot of pleasure as well. And that's what I wanted, just to, build myself out of nowhere from my mind. We have the same bodies, we have the same hands, we have the
True.
same things. So only what differentiates is a mind and approach to the people and to the customers, to all these things. So whatever you learn in the corporate work, if you lucky enough, you smart and all these things, you want to apply on your own company and build it big if you have a vision, right? So,
Right.
and then this is displeasure. So I decided at some point that I want to build it and I want to show what I learned over years and also
Right.
serve my customers and build. And I can tell you, I mean, there are many pleasures in life, obviously, but years back, one of colleagues in Oracle said to me that one of the sales person was super successful. And he told me what is a success, what was his success. And he said, his manager told me, a friend of mine, he said that this guy, super successful salesperson in Oracle, he was going to bed thinking about customers and waking up in the morning thinking about customers. So like being obsessed. And what they said about Steve Jobs and years back, they said that Steve Jobs was a paranoid and obsessed with some problem. So he could wake up during the night, call somebody that this icon has a different pixels and we need to correct them. And when he finished this, making the best, he moved to the other problem. And I think the same with the salesperson, and the same is with me. I'm waking up with my quant journey and I'm sleeping with my quant journey. Not because I'm obsessed only, but I want to make a big thing and the vision is great. And we want to do our best to serve our customers and we want to be the best platform for family office and hedge funds in the future, making probably billions. But the money is
Mhm.
on this other side. It's more
Mhm.
doing great product. This is what I want.
Okay. And in the initial days of building product and working on, what was your key recipe of bringing people on board? While you mentioned 20 years back when you were hiring it, but within last 2 3 months, the changes in infrastructure, AI, and a model. So any recipe you took it in your mind that, okay, yes, I need to bring on board team, but on what?
Yeah, I think when you have a startup, it's a bit
Mm,
different than in corporation
mhm.
because honestly, you don't have enough money and you want
Right.
to sometimes call it lemon squeeze in on MBA, but you want to get the best people with which you can afford, who can afford, but also the best ones because if you
Mm,
have a mediocre people, you won't build the best product. That's clear.
true.
So, and then another layer is that you want a mixture of experience with
Hmm.
the youthness or the
Hmm.
passion. I mean, the passion is
Right.
even sometimes more than experience because you can
Hmm.
teach people something. And I always been fortunate, to be honest. I
Hmm.
mean, I don't know how, but I was fortunate to hire great people, and maybe they see this attitude, maybe they see the vision. I always been passionate what I want. Anything when I can repeat, it's boring for me, and I don't want to do that. So that's
Hmm.
a bit of what somebody called recently, it's a popcorn mind currently that our span attention is very low. We can't read the
Hmm.
books from page and from beginning to the end. But I think people like leaders with vision who
Hmm.
give you the freedom to make the things, give you responsibility, but also teaching you or showing or coaching you how to make the. Yeah, I think years back I read a book about Microsoft, and there was
Hmm.
about Satya Nadella, CEO. I
Yep.
mean, Oracle is great, but let's talk about Satya Nadella, who's also great, and they're doing good
Hmm.
stuff. And they ask him, Satya, what are your key things as a CEO? What are you doing? And he said,
Hmm.
I have only two things. I need to inspire people and
Right.
empower them to do. So I need to inspire that they can do more than they think and empower
Hmm.
them to tell them that they can do this, right? And I
Right.
think this is a good mixture of the best leader and a leader of company, not to manage, especially now when you have smart people, you're not managing them. You're not telling them what to
Yep.
do. You need to give them some constraints and even say, go beyond this, do something magic. And
Hmm.
with AI, we think, I mean, when you look for democratization of IT, we can get easy a lot of products, much easier than years before. So the key to apply AI, a key to make the right business is to give the people freedom to think, to innovate, to make challenges, to overcome challenges with those tools, which even manager don't know or even CEO doesn't know, right? So this is
Right.
something when you give this power and attitude, and even you can call it corporate culture if it's bigger, to let them people try, and this, I think results will be great.
Okay. Now, what I observed is you code even you code yourself. Okay. And if someone is listening to us and then he is not coding at all or he didn't learn it, maybe he's very newbie to the coding and they want to start some maybe startup or some idea or anything, they want to do it by themselves. So what are the nowadays with the AI and Gen AI, what are some of your piece of guidance for them that where they can start?
I think especially now, I mean,
Hmm.
let me put this way, because many people think about vision, product, and then NDA, and then want to hire some development things. I do believe that now, especially in technology, it's a wrong
Hmm.
approach because, I mean, you don't need to be the best coder, but you have a lot of AI systems who can use and which can teach you or guide you over the journey. That's why we call it journey, because it's also
Hmm.
journey for me and a Quant journey. But I think first, if you get us this, you need to bootstrap. You don't need the money. You need to start to build an
Yep.
MVP now, even in technology. I mean, probably you can get your laptop, you can have some cloud credits, and you can build
Hmm.
it much faster. You can go and for a pretty much a lot of free trainings. And I just to be on the other side, I can tell you I have a friend in Dubai who's building his company for 3 years, 4 years,
Hmm.
4 years now, hiring 30 people, spending burn rate is like horrible, like 20, $30,000 a month, and there is no
Hmm.
product. And when I ask him about software and the IP of the software, which I mean, we're putting this on a GitHub, we got a repos, we got a CI/CD, we got all these
Hmm.
things. And he said, I don't know what is my code. So where is your IP? Because he was he's illiterate in technology, trying to
Mm-hmm.
build a technology product.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say if somebody wants, you don't need to be the best. And even the best probably are too bored to do that anything.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know, grasp ideas, learn yourself, bootstrap, and then when you have a traction with your customers, get something. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe another key challenge while doing bootstrapping, getting the actual customer. So what strategy did you follow, or maybe some guidance on that one, which can help someone?
I think there is a lot of for the startups, like fail
Mm-hmm.
fast. If you don't
Mm-hmm.
see the traction, just
Mm-hmm.
change. I mean, that's being stubborn, make no money. Then another thing which and my first startup years back, my VC investor said to me, don't go to the accelerators, don't go to the events to win the awards. We won some
Mm-hmm.
awards with the startup with the guys in AI 15 years ago. But he said, award is not paying your salaries and they're not paying
True.
your customers. So you need to obsess with your product and build the best product, whatever you can. But also you need to be obsessed with your customers. If you're not obsessed with customers, if you're not fulfilling their dreams, it's not your dreams, their dreams, you're not adding the value, you won't be very quickly. Forgotten. And let me put this also some example of Steve Jobs. And there is, you can find it on YouTube. There is a video when he stood in front of the worldwide DC,
Yeah.
this conference. And he said to the people years back, he said, when I talk to IT guys or tech guys, I lost everything because they proposed new features. And the only tipping point was when I start to talk to the customers what they want. And then when I knew what they want, I talked to IT guys to make it happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not diverse. So I would say IT is great, and I'm IT guy for years and Quant guys for years. But I would say, I always say it's a tactical way of building business. We say like a Lego blocks. We have a Lego blocks in IT, in a cloud, especially now cloud. It's so super simple, no barrier to entry. You can get technology you couldn't even imagine 5, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You can get like this with the one click, and even most for free at the beginning. So it's not about IT now, it's about the business. And then when you know what you want and what your customers want, you apply any technology super fast, especially with AI now, which can guide you to build this product. That's I think the key now. They were always key, but now it's even more.
Okay. So maybe last few one or two questions more before we conclude our today's session. If, as you know, not everyone well versed with AI and Gen AI, and a lot of our audience are from different backgrounds, or developer, traditional working on technologies, maybe it's on database or a front office. And the key questions, which I even myself keep getting it, that okay, is there an easy way to start learning something in AI? Although there are so many courses out there, all right, but then you keep getting this common question, and which, based on your hands-on experience of last 3 years, why I'm just mentioning 3 years is because that any tips you can give offer to them.
Yeah. I think let me put this way. AI is very broad topic. You can
Yeah.
go from building fundamental models to RAG to AI platform, AI agents, multiple technology and the things. My advice would be like I can tell you what we're doing now. We're doing our customers said that some of them are trading crypto, right?
Hmm.
I mean it's quite common. Most of them are
Right.
discretionary. I'm buying, I'm selling like based on some people saying or a mouth word. But we did what we called crypto bot. So basically
Hmm.
you have automated system which is trading for you. And you can
Hmm.
test it before, and then when it gives you the results, you can apply in the cloud and run it from the cloud, even when you close your laptop or whatever. And we have more than 50 people signing for the course, which is
Hmm.
done. And we teach people how to build a code. And then what we're doing. So this is like we train the people who are interested in a crypto bot or tried in crypto. But what we're
Hmm.
doing, we're not only telling them how to write the code, we're showing them the code, and
Hmm.
then doing AI strategies for the crypto bot. So we're teaching them how to write the code and how to build strategy based on AI, which is another thing. But we also have a separate session for these people, AI applied to building code. So there is a 1 hour session when
Hmm.
one of my workers, employees, he's teaching people how to use Visual Studio Code, Cursor,
Right.
or the others, and how to apply different models, Cloudy, OpenAI, and whatever, DeepSeek, etc., to write the better code. So we're giving them what very practical thing. And then my advice is whatever you like, go into that and then try to apply. I mean, you can do that without AI, but if you apply AI, you speed up by factor of 2, 3, 5, maybe even 10. But you need to know exactly what you want, not just learn for learning, learn like by doing something. And this is like I said, in the crypto, we're teaching them and we're showing them how to apply AI to make it better.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jacob, for joining us. So now, if someone want to reach out to you, listening, maybe which one is the best way? Your blog, if something you want to share it.
I think if you are a bit in the investment or you like to learn, go to quantjourney.substack.com. You can find me there. I'm always there. We have a Discord as well on the Quant Journey, so you can join our Discord. We have a YouTube channel. So if you investment and you want to learn how to invest in a systematic way with Python, with AI, I really encourage you to join us.
Thank you so much, Jacob, for joining. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kashi.